today at the Brew House, we have Milt Russos with the FSCJ Artist Series, and he's going to be telling us a little bit about the history and what they have to offer for the city of Jacksonville. So, how long have you been with the Artist Series?
Oh, you would ask that question. This is my 50th year with
Oh,
the
wow.
program.
Wow, that's amazing. So, since you've been there for 50 years, tell us about the history and how did it evolve over the
Yeah.
years?
Well, it started very, very small. Actually, it was part of the student life, student activities program at the college, initially, and that's what it was, I think, originally designed to be. But we quickly found out that the people of Jacksonville were actually coming to our programs, and we felt that we were really meeting a need here. And over the years, it evolved. First, it was pretty much classical and pop concerts. Perhaps an opera, thrown in, and then it gradually evolved in the 70s to, Broadway. And we did with one night, and then it evolved to 2 nights, 3 nights, 5 nights. And then in 1986, we presented our first full week engagement, and that was a production of Cats, which was very, very new at that time. And we sold in excess of 25,000 tickets
Wow.
and spent very little money. And it was a real wake-up call for us, and it was like, we can do this. And then after that, it was Les Miserables, and it was South Pacific with Robert Goulet and Starlight Express. And by the time 98, 99 came about, the old Civic Auditorium had been remodeled, and we have a beautiful Moran Theater now that we could do some really major shows. And that's when the Phantom of the Opera first came to Jacksonville, and it came here for 4 weeks. And then after that, shows like Miss Saigon and Beauty and the Beast. A number of those shows came, and then in 2006-07 season, we did the Lion King, and it played for 6 weeks.
Wow.
It was a huge success. And since then, we've brought Phantom back. We've done some other, pretty major shows. The Producers, Mamma Mia. Trying to think offhand here, the Book of Mormon was another, huge production, for us. So that's pretty much what's involved. Most of the shows now play full weeks. That's 8 performances in 1 week, and we bring specials back sometimes for smaller runs. And then we also do many, many concerts: Celtic Woman, Celtic Thunder, Mannheim, Steamroller. All of those shows, we've done, along with operas and ballets and modern dance and shows like Blue Man Group, Stomp, Tap Dogs, just a variety of programs.
Yeah, something for everyone. And I remember when The Lion King was here because my parents took me for that. So that really sparked my interest in musical theater. So what sparked your interest in the performance world?
Well, we all start somewhere, and the closest I've come to the performance world was probably in a high school band. And I can't say that I was the best clarinet player, but I probably wasn't the worst either. But I had a great time socially, in that band. And my major actually in college was history, primarily American history. And I came to the college here in Jacksonville primarily to teach, history. But I also volunteered to help develop the student life program. When you're young, single, right out of college, you're trying to sometimes impress people that you can do, these things. And I think that's why I was basically asked to put together something for the old Civic Auditorium that at that time was really not being used. And that's how the artist series actually started and
Wow.
developed. Yeah.
Well, I know that that you have special musicals coming up this summer. I saw on your website Cinderella was coming. So
Okay, that's next summer.
next summer, next
That's,
summer.
that's the next season.
Okay.
And that'll be our 51st season.
Okay.
And we'll have Jersey Boys, we'll have Disney's The Little Mermaid. The Cinderella is actually the Rodgers and Hammerstein, the most recent Broadway
Oh, wow.
production, of that. And we have a great show called Kinky Boots coming that won the Tony Award for Best Musical, a few years ago. And the Book of Mormon is coming back as a season option.
Nice. So, how do you reach out and get these people to come to Jacksonville, or do people request that you have certain musicals, or how does that work when you're selecting what comes to
Right.
Jacksonville?
Well, there's a couple of things that we do. We do surveys, certainly with our subscribers and also our non-subscribers. But we are bombarded with information from producers in New York who very much want to have these shows go on tour. And then it becomes a matter of routing into our schedule, the schedule at the Times Union Center, the tour schedule of the companies, and some of these are very, very large productions that routing of these shows has to be done very, very carefully. Phantom, 16 to 18 semis.
Wow.
So you're looking at very, very large shows. So routing has to become, very, very, special, for those.
Crucial into making sure that everything works out for them, but also works out for you, right?
Correct, right.
So I know that you also offer, aside from musicals and aside from different performances, you have educational classes and a camp.
Right. We have a number of educational programs that we do. There's two major ones in the summer. One is a program called Camp Broadway, and we're one of, I think, 12 cities across the United States. It originated in New York, City, and we actually bring in 10 to 12 professional staff from New York. Some of them are actors, some of them are musicians. There's two choreographers, there's two associate directors, and then a person who oversees all of this. And the camp consists of 100 students, and it's really a 40-hour boot camp for ages 10 to 17. And it's amazing what these kids can do in just 1 week. And actually, what they can do in just 4 days, because they have to perform for the families on the last day. So it's a very concentrated time. It's basically from 8 to 5, and we provide lunch, for those students who are participating. And they're divided up into 4 groups, usually by age. And it's just a showcase of what they can do. And I'm just amazed every year. And it's been a very, very popular program. I think we're in I think it's our 16th, year, with it.
Oh, wow,
and
with the camp?
And it's been selling out every year. So there's always 100 kids in there.
Do they have to do anything special to get into the camp, or is it kind of first come, first serve?
On this program, it's whoever registers for it, and there's absolutely no experience, required. Many of these students who participate do have, some background in it, but we have many that don't participate. And it's the whole idea is not necessarily that you're going to become an actor, but perhaps gain an appreciation, for Broadway. And many of the students, come back year after year until finally they can't come anymore, that they're, too old. The second one we do in the summer, and it's in conjunction with our Wilson Center for Fine Arts at the South Campus, and it's a summer high school musical. And we have some wonderful professional set designers and sound and lighting designers at South as part of that entertainment technology program. So you'll see basically a full Broadway production. The difference is you're dealing with 8th graders to seniors, or seniors who have just graduated. And those are by audition. And even if you don't qualify for one of the lead roles, there's plenty of other things to do, from costume, work to serving as stagehands, just a variety of things to do. And there's usually about 85 to 90 students every year that participate in that program. We'll do 6 performances a year, and this year they're doing Cats, which is going back to where the artist series really started. And Cats has been to Jacksonville many, many times. It has more than 9 lives in Jacksonville. And but this will be the first time that an amateur production has ever been done. In Jacksonville.
That's really amazing. And I know, aside from giving back to the community, how can the city of Jacksonville support you in what you're doing? Volunteer opportunities? What other type of opportunities do you have?
Right. We have a volunteer program. Right now, I think there's around 85 volunteers, some that have been with us for a number of years. And they do a variety of tasks, everything from doing, mail processing to working the information tables at the Times Union Center during our shows, assisting in the box office at the will call, window, assisting with marketing of the shows at the various festivals, around the city. There's just a variety of things they can do. And
Okay, so I have to ask you, what is your favorite musical? What is your favorite performance that you've seen?
well, I would say probably my all-time favorite is probably Les Miserables. And it's just one of those that I have always enjoyed. And different actors. The show is basically the same, but there's different spins that different actors can put, and their personalities come. And I enjoy seeing how those little nuances, sometimes change. And the shows also change. The Les Miserables that we had here the last time, and the one that's currently on Broadway, is slightly different than the original ones that we had here. And actually, I think Les Mis has been to Jacksonville 4 times, now. But each time, what happens is technology improves. And the Phantom that we just had here, the technology that was in effect for the special effects now was non-existent
Right.
back in 98, 99 when we first did it. So it's always interesting to see what those changes can do. And it always makes it bigger, better, more fantastic, I think.
I know that you do you have a membership program for people that want to always come to the performances that you have.
Right. There's a couple of things we have. We have a program called the VIP Theater Club, and basically for an amount over and beyond the cost of the tickets, they can contribute to the series. And there's a variety of benefits depending on what level they choose. But all of the individuals are able to go to the VIP Theater Club during intermission of these shows. Refreshments available there. They have their own private restrooms, and of course they get choice, seating, with the payment of that, contribution. So in some cases they also get parking. In some cases valet parking. There's just a variety of benefits that accrue to each of those, individuals. So you can be a subscriber to the Broadway series. You can also subscribe to the other shows, and there's a lot more flexibility, with those, with the concerts, because those change every year.
Right.
But Broadway, you pretty much have a pretty good stable of. You pretty well know that you're going to have at least 4 musicals, every year, and it's a cross between musicals that have recently been in New York and have been successful, and then those that are revivals that have gone out. And in many cases, they're also recent revivals in New York.
So, is there anything else that you would like to tell our audience? Anything that's spectacular or specific that you would like to address?
Well, there's so many hot shows right now in New York that are on the horizon, and we're actually working 3 to 4 years right now ahead of time. And I can't promise when these shows are coming, but we know that we are very, very close to getting The Lion King to come back. We are certain that we're going to have Wicked come back, and people say, well, why is it taking so long for Wicked to come back? And my response has to be, we've already had it twice.
It's so amazing. That's probably like one of my favorite ones, other than The Lion King. Favorite.
Right, but it's one of those that there's only one touring company left now of Wicked, besides the company that's in New York, and the fact that we've had it twice, some cities in the United States haven't had it once yet. So we just have to be patient, but that's definitely coming back. A hot show that is favored to win the Tony Award for Best Musical this year, and a phenomenal show, is Hamilton. And it's been so popular that they made the decision not to take Hamilton off the $10 bill. And it's not necessarily because of that, but I think the popularity of that show certainly had something to do with it. That's a hot show. Another one that I saw in January that I think is going to be big, a great family show, is based on the movie that Jack Black was in, Schoolhouse.
Oh, School of Rock.
Right, School of Rock. There was probably 12 kids and they were all playing their own instruments, and I just thought it was phenomenal. And the Jack Black character was great
Yes.
as well. Another one that's doing well and is very, very popular is the Gloria Estefan, musical, On Your Feet, and I had the pleasure of seeing Emil and Estefan at the conference that we were just recently at, and The girl that plays Gloria is actually from Miami and also went to the same high school. And the story is that she was called to New York, Gloria was called to New York and said, we have 5 potential young Glorias for you to take a look at, and we need your help to pick the one. And she said when this girl came out, she told her husband, Emilio, she could be our daughter. And she's very, 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 very good. And so there's other musicals. We don't know at this point how popular, because some of them have just opened. American Psycho is a new one, a little different. Shuffle Away, based on an old U.B. Blake musical out of the 1920s, 30s, that's been revived. Lots of good products, that's going to be out there. And we're pretty sure that Hamilton will be coming to Jacksonville. There's some negotiations at this point, and it'll be several years, but it'll be here.
It'll be well worth the wait, right?
Yes, right.
So how can people get more information or find out how to get tickets to your events? Where can they go to get more information?
Well, the best place to go is to our website, and it's FSCJArtistSeries.org, or they can call 904-442-2929.
Well, thank you so much. I know Jacksonville is very excited to see what else you have in store. 50 years and going on to the 51st year. You have done a tremendous job at making sure that the city of Jacksonville was always entertained.
Okay. Thank you, Taylor. Mm-hmm.